The dark expanse of space stretched endlessly. Stars twinkled like distant fires, and the black void between them seemed alive with silent motion. Across this vastness, a small fleet of alien scouts from the Zerathian Empire moved with quiet purpose. They were slender, silver ships with angular shapes that shimmered faintly under the starlight. Each vessel was equipped with advanced scanners, cloaking devices, and weapons capable of destroying entire planets. Their mission was simple: survey the human colonies in the outer reaches of the Milky Way and report back. Captain Zyrek, the commander of the leading scout, observed the stars ahead. His many eyes glinted with anticipation. "The humans are primitive," he whispered to his crew in the low hum of their shared communication network. "Reports suggest they barely hold together as a species. This will be an easy assessment." The scouts had heard stories of human wars on Earth centuries ago. Those conflicts seemed small and chaotic compared to the precision and unity of Zerathian forces. The aliens believed that human technology was limited, their numbers few, and their tactics unsophisticated. Yet, intelligence reports hinted at something unusual. Energy signatures were rising on multiple planets, and mysterious colonies beyond the known solar system had begun appearing. Zyrek's crew scanned these anomalies. Small bursts of energy flickered across sensor panels. "Captain," a voice buzzed, "there are readings here, unusual. They do not match known human activity. Energy is high and concentrated." Zyrek frowned. "Concentrated? On which planets?" "Multiple?" "Captain," the scout replied, "it is as if they are hiding a force, but it seems contained." Zyrek tilted his head. "Contained. Perhaps they are preparing. Still, these are humans. They may have weapons, but not enough to challenge us. Keep observing. We must report everything." The scouts glided silently into the solar system. A blue and white planet loomed ahead, Earth. The humans' homeworld sparkled with oceans and cities that shone like scattered gems. Around it, satellites and orbital platforms moved in carefully measured orbits, almost invisible to the naked eye. Zyrek's sensors caught the faint hum of energy shields and concealed fleets hidden behind asteroid fields. The scouts paused. One by one, their crew members recorded readings, each more confusing than the last. Small human warships were scattered across the planets, but they seemed to appear and vanish like ghosts. Communications bounced unpredictably, and sensor readings suggested automated defenses were actively monitoring the alien ships. "These humans, they are not what I expected," murmured Zyrek. "Perhaps we should approach cautiously." Still, the scouts moved forward. They believed stealth and speed were their allies. As they crossed the orbit of Mars, a faint green glow appeared on their sensor screens. The aliens adjusted their cloaking devices. "Camouflage? Advanced shielding?" asked one of the crew. Zyrek did not answer immediately. Instead, he focused on Earth. The humans' defenses seemed minimal from this distance. Tiny flashes of energy fired intermittently, but nothing substantial. Yet something in the readings made him uneasy. The aliens had expected disorganized chaos. Instead, they found precise patterns, well-coordinated movements, and hidden networks of energy that pulsed like a heartbeat. Meanwhile, on Earth, human observers had already noticed the alien scouts. In command centers on the surface and in orbit, officers tracked the incoming ships. "We have unidentified objects approaching the outer planets," said General Kara Vance, the head of Earth Defense Command. "They match the description of Zerathian scouts. Prepare stealth protocols. Do not engage unless provoked." Humans had prepared for centuries for this moment. Unlike the aliens, they had learned the value of patience, strategy, and secrecy. The real human army was not yet visible. Fleets waited in deep space hangars, underground bunkers, and remote colonies. Advanced AI controlled much of the defense. ensuring rapid response while keeping the enemy unaware of true human strength. Back in the Scouts' command room, Zyrek frowned at the sensor readouts. "Captain," one of his officers said, "we are detecting something unexpected. There are more ships than we first observed. Energy levels suggest large-scale operations, but no direct engagement is happening." Zyrek's many eyes narrowed. "They hide their true strength. They are cleverer than predicted. But we must continue. Our mission is reconnaissance, not war." The Scouts sent a probe closer to Earth, a sleek device capable of transmitting live data. It passed silently through the orbit of the moon and dipped toward the planet. As it neared the surface, it captured glimpses of human cities. Towers of steel and glass rose above the ground, some glowing with energy shields. Streets were orderly, vehicles moved in coordinated patterns, and small robotic units patrolled open areas. The aliens expected primitive settlements, but what they saw surprised them. Humans had turned Earth into a fortress without revealing it. Even more striking were the hidden orbital platforms and small fleets that activated only when the probe passed. The probe transmitted images back to the Scouts. Zyrek stared at the screens, astonished. "They are far stronger than we imagined," he said. "This is no small force. These humans, they prepare with precision." Another Scout spoke nervously. "Captain, their energy signatures are increasing. Could it be an army? We detect hundreds of thousands of small units mobilizing underground and in orbit." Zyrek's antennae twitched. "Hundreds of thousands? That is impossible. Our reports underestimated them. Significantly. Alert the Command Council. They must know this." The Scouts sent encrypted messages to the Zyrathian command describing what they had found. Their words carried a mix of disbelief and awe. Intelligence reports had predicted humans to be weak, but the reality was entirely different. Humans were hidden giants, ready to unleash unimaginable force if provoked. As the Scouts hovered in orbit, Earth's defenses continued their silent preparation. Drones zipped across the skies, automated platforms aligned into defensive grids, and deep space hangars opened slowly, revealing ships that had been invisible to the aliens. Energy fields pulsed like veins, connecting planets and moons into a single network. Zyrek realized the Scouts had underestimated humans. "We may have misjudged them," he said quietly. "They are not primitive. They are adaptive, clever, dangerous in ways we did not anticipate." Despite the fear and astonishment, the Scouts continued their mission. They scanned cities, colonies, and fleets, documenting every detail. The aliens did not know it yet, but the humans were watching every move. Humans were preparing not for attack, but for demonstration, a display of strength that would leave the Zyrathians stunned. On the surface of Earth, General Vance watched the data streams. "They are here," she said calmly. "Let them see only what we allow. The real army waits. The humans are ready." Across the solar system, the alien Scouts began to feel a subtle unease. Patterns emerged, movements coordinated beyond expectation, and energy signatures far exceeded their predictions. The Scouts whispered to one another, "Is this the entire human force? Or just the beginning?" Zyrek knew one thing for certain. Humans were not to be underestimated. And for the first time, he felt something rare among Zyrathians, fear mixed with admiration. The night sky around Earth shimmered as the humans' preparations continued, hidden but vast. The Scouts had arrived expecting weakness and disarray, but instead, they faced the unknown. The humans' power was enormous, precise, and frighteningly clever. As the Scouts retreated slightly to report back to their command, Zyrek looked one last time at the blue planet. "This is extraordinary," he murmured. "We have misjudged them. Humanity is something entirely new." Unseen and silent, humanity watched the alien fleet, ready to reveal only what they chose. The first stage of an encounter that would shock the galaxy had begun, and deep in the hearts of the scouts, doubt and amazement grew. The solar system lay quiet, yet beneath that quiet, the human army stirred. Across Earth, the Moon, Mars, and distant colonies, fleets and armies that had been hidden for decades now prepared for action. Humans moved with a precision that few species could match, coordinating forces spread across millions of kilometers of space. Each unit, each fleet, and each soldier acted as part of a single invisible organism. In orbit around Earth, small orbital platforms activated their shields and weapon systems. Hidden hangars slid open, releasing swarms of ships that had remained invisible to alien sensors. On the surface, cities hummed with energy, their automated systems silently ready for any incursion. Every action was planned, yet nothing revealed the full scale of humanity's true power. General Caravance stood in Earth Defense Command, her gaze steady on the screens. "They think we are weak," she said quietly. "Let them continue to believe that. Patience will be our greatest weapon." Meanwhile, the alien scouts lingered in the outer reaches of the solar system, unaware of the true magnitude of what they were observing. Zirek, the fleet captain, studied the data reports, his multifaceted eyes reflecting surprise and unease. "Their energy readings continue to grow," he said. "It is more than expected. How many ships do they have?" An officer replied nervously, "Impossible to count, Captain. The patterns suggest hundreds of thousands of units distributed across planets, moons, and colonies, yet they remain hidden. The humans are organized." Zyrek's antennae twitched. Organized. Humans were supposed to be chaotic. Reports said they were slow, fragmented, and weak. This is not what we anticipated. On the Moon, massive hangars opened, revealing fighter squadrons, patrol ships, and massive transport vessels. Drones streaked across craters, moving like a swarm of silver lightning. In distant colonies, automated defenses powered up, scanning the sky for threats. Humans had learned the value of hiding their full capabilities. Any premature display would risk panic or unwanted attention, yet every system was ready to strike with deadly precision. In orbit around Mars, a fleet of human warships shifted into formation, synchronized across multiple orbital planes. AI-controlled systems coordinated each movement with exact timing, leaving no gaps in coverage. Energy shields shimmered across the hulls of capital ships, reflecting sunlight like liquid silver. Humans were ready, yet invisible. Back on Earth, General Vance addressed her officers. "Phase 1 is complete. The scouts have entered our system. They do not know our full strength. Keep it that way. Phase 2 will begin shortly. Remember, humans win through strategy, not only through numbers." Beneath the surface, underground bunkers housed millions of soldiers. They moved silently through corridors, their movements guided by AI and central command. Advanced suits and vehicles awaited deployment, each designed to maximize speed, efficiency, and adaptability. Every soldier knew their role, yet no one revealed the Army's true scale to the aliens above. In the outer asteroid belt, hidden stations launched surveillance drones. These drones flew in silent patterns, collecting data on the alien scouts while remaining undetectable. Every movement of the aliens was recorded, analyzed, and predicted by human AI systems. Humans had learned to turn information into an unstoppable weapon. Zirek watched the readings from his fleet nervously. "They are too organized," he said. "We expected scattered forces, minor defenses, perhaps some resistance. Instead, they appear coordinated, intelligent, adaptive." An officer spoke hesitantly. "Captain, their fleets are increasing in number. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of ships appear to be in orbit. Yet every time we scan, they vanish, or move out of detection range. They are clever." Zirek's antennas twitched in frustration. "Clever? Yes, but we cannot allow ourselves to panic. Continue scanning and keep detailed reports. They must know we are observing." The scouts sent messages to Zerathia describing their findings. Their words were filled with both awe and fear. Humans had hidden fleets and armies across the solar system, coordinated through advanced AI, cloaking, and energy fields. Hundreds of thousands of units moved in perfect patterns, yet no action had been taken. The scouts realized that humans were not primitive. They were masters of preparation, strategy, and concealment. Meanwhile, humans prepared for the next stage. On Earth, General Vance watched as the orbital platforms activated long-range communications, sending signals designed to confuse and mislead alien sensors. Drones moved in simulated patrols, decoy ships created false fleet readings, and energy signals were manipulated to exaggerate the number of forces visible to the aliens. In the asteroid belt, humans launched a series of small, controlled energy pulses, appearing as miniature fleet movements. The aliens detected these signals and misinterpreted them as the presence of hundreds of additional ships. Zarek's officers began to panic. "Captain," one whispered, "they have far more ships than we thought. The readings are impossible. Hundreds of thousands of ships are moving in patterns too precise to be random." Zarek's eyes widened. "Impossible? No. Humans must be using deception. There cannot be this many units. Yet every reading confirms something is here. This species is unlike any we have faced before." On Mars, humans continued to deploy hidden drones across the surface and orbit. Each drone transmitted false data, creating phantom fleets and false energy signatures. The aliens struggled to keep up, scanning, rescanning, and recalculating their estimates. Every step they took was anticipated, every sensor reading manipulated. Back on Earth, General Vance smiled slightly. "Phase 2 is progressing perfectly. They are confused, misled, and overwhelmed. But the real army remains hidden. Patience. Patience is key." Zarek called a meeting of his officers. "Report everything," he demanded. "We must know the full extent of their forces." The officers reported in turns, each more baffled than the last. "Their fleets are enormous, Captain. Our sensors cannot detect the full scale. Energy readings suggest mass mobilization across multiple planets, hundreds of thousands of units. They move in coordination with AI. They anticipate our scans." Zyrek's antennae twitched in disbelief. "Humans, they are not what we expected. They are strong, precise, and intelligent. Perhaps we underestimated them. Report everything to High Command immediately." The scouts sent encrypted messages back to the Zyrathian Council. Even as the words were transmitted, the officers struggled to comprehend what they had witnessed. The humans had taken a species that prided itself on technological superiority and forced it to question assumptions, strategies, and predictions. On Earth, human fleets waited in orbit. Transport ships, capital ships, and fighter squadrons had remained hidden in orbital hangars for decades. Now they moved silently, aligning into formations designed to appear larger and more threatening than they actually were. Automated systems ran simulations, ensuring every movement was flawless. Distant colonies added to the illusion. Remote planetary stations powered up energy fields and activated fleets, all coordinated by AI systems designed to maximize efficiency and mislead any observers. Humans were no longer a hidden force. They were a controlled display of immense power. Zarek and his officers stared at the readings, growing increasingly anxious. "They are unbelievable," he said. "Their fleet size, their coordination, their technology, it defies our intelligence reports. How can a primitive species achieve such perfection?" One officer whispered nervously, "Captain, they are manipulating our sensors. They are creating illusions of strength. But even accounting for that, their power is vast." Zarek looked at the blue planet below. "We have misjudged them. Humans are clever, adaptive, and patient. They do not rush into battle. They wait. And when they act, It will be with force unimaginable. The alien scouts began to retreat slightly, maintaining distance while continuing to observe. Each reading revealed new fleets, hidden energy grids, and automated defense systems. Humans were a species that had learned to use information, deception, and patience as their greatest weapons. On Earth, General Vance addressed her officers once more. "Let them see what we want them to see. They think they are observing our full strength, but they are wrong. Every fleet, every energy reading, every movement is part of the plan. Humans are not just strong, they are brilliant." The scouts realized their mission had become more difficult than anticipated. Observation had turned into caution. Every step they took was monitored, predicted, and analyzed. They began to understand a harsh truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Their army was not only large, it was precise, intelligent, and adaptive in ways the aliens had not imagined. As night fell across Earth, the solar system remained quiet, but the invisible currents of human power flowed endlessly. Drones, fleets, and automated systems moved like a living organism. Humans had prepared for centuries for this moment, and now the first steps in a confrontation with an advanced alien species were underway. Zirek watched the Earth's surface one last time before sending another report to Zerathia. "This species is unlike anything we have faced. They are not primitive. They are formidable. And soon, we may see the full extent of their power." Unseen and patient, humans continued to prepare. Their hidden armies, advanced technology, and carefully controlled displays ensured that the scouts had no idea of the true magnitude of what they faced. Humanity's patience, strategy, and hidden strength had created an image of weakness, while in reality, they were ready to astonish the galaxy. The stage was set. The humans' hidden strength was about to be revealed, and the Zyrathians would soon learn that intelligence, strategy, and patience could surpass even the most advanced technology. The aliens had arrived expecting weakness. They found cunning, preparation, and unseen power. Humanity was ready, and the scouts were stunned. The alien scouts had been observing the solar system for days. Each scan, each probe, each signal brought more confusion and unease. Humans, they realized, were far more prepared than any intelligence report had suggested. Yet even Zirek, the fleet commander, could not have predicted what was about to unfold. On Earth, General Kara Vance watched the alien fleet through multiple sensors. The humans' hidden forces were ready, yet no direct attack had been launched. Instead, the plan was subtle: to confuse, overwhelm, and manipulate perception. Humans understood that in war, sometimes the mind could be as powerful a weapon as weapons themselves. "Phase 3 begins," General Vance said calmly. Her officers stood around her, eyes fixed on the holographic map of the solar system. "Let them see more than we have shown. Make them believe our army is bigger than reality. But remain invisible. Our true strength is still hidden." Across the system, orbital platforms and fleets activated decoys. Holographic projections of massive warships appeared in the aliens' sensors. Energy readings were amplified, showing hundreds of thousands of units where only a fraction existed. Each movement was perfectly synchronized to create the illusion of immense coordination. The alien scouts noticed immediately. "Captain," one officer whispered, eyes wide, "their fleets. They appear to be growing. Hundreds of thousands of ships are moving in perfect formation. How can they do this? We counted far fewer units before." Zirek's multifaceted eyes glinted with worry. "Impossible," he muttered. "They are manipulating our sensors. But even if these are illusions, the scale, it is incredible. Humans are clever beyond measure." The scouts sent probes closer to Earth, attempting to verify the phantom fleets. Each time, the projections shifted. Holograms dissipated, replaced by real ships appearing elsewhere. It was a constant game of perception. The humans controlled what the aliens saw, predicting their movements and feeding them information designed to confuse. Meanwhile, hidden transport fleets moved in silent coordination, unseen by alien sensors. Ships and soldiers relocated across planets, moons, and orbital stations. The humans' true forces were still invisible, waiting for the perfect moment to strike if necessary. "Captain," another officer said nervously, "the humans anticipate our every scan. Every attempt to verify their numbers has failed. They are intelligent, strategic, and patient. They are unlike anything we have faced before." Zirek twitched his antennae in frustration. "We cannot allow ourselves to panic. Continue scanning, continue reporting, but remember, humans are masters of deception. Their army may be far larger than it seems, but we cannot know for sure." The humans' decoy fleets moved in complex patterns across the solar system. Small drone swarms formed temporary formations, creating the illusion of massive fleets in orbit around Mars, Venus, and even distant asteroids. Energy signatures pulsed in timed sequences, mimicking real ship movements. To the alien scouts, it seemed as though humanity had deployed hundreds of thousands of ships across the system, when in reality, the true number was only a fraction. In orbit above Earth, real human fleets remained silent, their engines off, their shields down. AI systems controlled every simulation, every decoy, every hologram. Each projection was designed to maximize confusion, creating the impression that humans could overwhelm any alien fleet with sheer numbers. Zirek and his officers watched the readings in disbelief. "This is incredible," one officer said. "Even accounting for illusions, their coordination is beyond anything we imagined. Hundreds of thousands of units, or the appearance of them. We cannot tell the difference." Zyrek's antennas twitched nervously. "They do not rush. They do not attack. Yet they dominate every sensor, every observation. Their strategy is brilliant. They have made us question what we thought we knew. Humans are masters of perception." On the moon, humans deployed additional drone swarms, their movements perfectly calculated to reinforce the illusion. Each drone carried energy emitters that mimicked the signatures of larger ships. The aliens' sensors interpreted these signals as massive reinforcements, further inflating the perceived size of the human army. Meanwhile, in deep space beyond Mars, human fleets remained completely hidden. Large capital ships and transport vessels lay in wait, invisible to alien scanners. Only AI systems knew the true locations and strengths of these forces. Humans were ready, patient, and entirely in control. "Captain," an officer said, voice trembling slightly, "we are detecting multiple fleets in orbit around distant colonies. They appear fully deployed, hundreds of thousands of units, moving in perfect coordination. But we counted far fewer before." "Are we being deceived?" Zirek did not answer immediately. Instead, he studied the sensors carefully. Deception or not, the humans are clever, adaptive, and patient. They are not what we expected. They are formidable. Prepare detailed reports for high command. They need to understand this. Back on Earth, General Vance observed the aliens' reactions. "Phase 3 is working perfectly," she said. "They see what we want them to see. Every sensor, every scan, every attempt to measure our strength only reinforces our plan. They think our army is vast, when in reality, only part of it is real. The rest is illusion." In orbit around Mars, holographic projections of massive fleets moved across sensors, appearing to engage in complex maneuvers. The aliens attempted to track and scan these fleets, but each attempt was thwarted by human AI, which constantly shifted signals, creating the illusion of ever-changing formations. "Captain," one officer said, "every scan we perform confirms the presence of these massive fleets. Yet when we probe further, they vanish, only to appear elsewhere. How can one species control perception so perfectly? Zarek twitched in frustration. They are not just strong, they are intelligent. Their strategy goes beyond technology. They understand the mind as a battlefield as much as space itself. Humanity is unlike anything we have ever faced. Hidden fleets on Earth and its colonies continued to move quietly, undetected by the scouts. Soldiers, ships, and drones were ready to strike if necessary, but the plan remained one of observation, deception, and control. Humans did not need to attack to demonstrate power. They needed only to manipulate perception, and the aliens would believe in their immense strength. The scouts attempted one last direct scan, sending multiple probes toward Earth, Mars, and the Moon. Each probe returned the same result. Hundreds of thousands of units, moving in perfect coordination, appearing larger and more powerful than anything previously recorded. Energy readings suggested mass mobilization across the entire system. Zarek's antennas twitched in disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. "We knew they were clever. We expected intelligence, but this is beyond anything we imagined. Their army, or the illusion of it, is staggering." One officer, voice trembling, said, "Captain, they are manipulating every sensor, every reading. We cannot trust anything we see. They are masters of perception." Zarek looked down at the blue and white planet below. "Humans are patient. They hide their true power. They control what we see. And yet, even this illusion is enough to make us reconsider our next steps. We have underestimated them. That was a mistake." In deep space, human AI systems continued to coordinate fleets, decoys, and holograms. Each movement reinforced the illusion of immense strength. The aliens were being trained almost unknowingly to respect and fear humanity. Humans understood that the mind could be as powerful a weapon as any laser, missile, or warship. On Earth, General Vance gave her final orders for Phase 3. "Continue to manipulate perception," she said. "Our army is far larger than they think, but only part of it is real. Every projection, every energy signal, every fleet formation is part of the plan. Let them believe we are unbeatable. And when the time comes, they will learn the full truth." The alien scouts began to withdraw slightly, confused and overwhelmed. Their sensors reported fleets far larger than reality, energy signals impossible to quantify, and movements that seemed almost preemptive. They began sending frantic reports back to Zyrathia. Humans were not only clever and adaptive, they had forced a technologically superior species to question their own perceptions, their own intelligence, and their assumptions. "Captain," an officer said quietly, "we cannot know what is real and what is illusion. Humanity has created a battlefield in our minds as much as in space. Every calculation, every prediction we make, they anticipate it. They control what we believe." Zarek nodded slowly. "Yes," he said, "and that control is their greatest weapon. We expected chaos. We expected weakness. Instead, we have found patience, intelligence, and strategy beyond our understanding. Humanity is extraordinary." Across the solar system, hidden fleets waited silently. Drones and holographic projections continued their dance, manipulating perception and reinforcing the illusion of unimaginable numbers. The scouts had seen part of humanity's strength, yet the full force remained hidden, ready to astonish the galaxy when the right moment arrived. Zarek, watching the blue planet below, realized the uncomfortable truth. Humans were not only strong, they were masters of strategy, deception, and patience. And the Zyrathians, despite all their technology, had been forced to see the world through human eyes, and in doing so, had begun to understand why humans were a species never to be underestimated. The solar system remained quiet, yet the invisible currents of human power flowed endlessly. Every move, every projection, every fleet formation was carefully calculated to control perception. Humans did not need to engage to demonstrate strength. Their mastery of strategy and deception alone was enough. And so, the scouts continued to observe, increasingly wary, increasingly respectful, and increasingly aware that humanity's strength was not only in numbers or technology, but in intelligence, patience, and the ability to manipulate perception. The stage was set. The aliens believed they had seen humanity's army, but in truth, they had only seen a fraction, an illusion, a carefully orchestrated performance. The real force remained hidden, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself. And when that day came, the Xyrathians would understand the full meaning of the phrase, "Humans are not to be underestimated." The alien scouts had been observing the solar system for days, and each new reading left them more confused, more cautious, and more amazed. The humans' hidden fleets, decoys, holograms, and automated defenses had created the illusion of a vast army, one that seemed far beyond the aliens' comprehension. Yet the Xyrathians still had no idea that what they had seen was only a fraction of the true force humanity had concealed. On Earth, General Kara Vance stood in the command center, her eyes calm but alert. "Phase 4 begins," she said, her voice carrying across the room. Officers and strategists nodded, checking final coordinates, fleet positions, and energy fields. "They believe they have seen our strength. Now it is time to show them what humans are truly capable of." Hidden orbital hangars slid open. Capital ships, war cruisers, and transport vessels that had remained invisible for decades now deployed with silent precision. Hundreds of thousands of units, some equipped with advanced AI, others piloted by highly trained humans, moved in flawless formation. Energy shields flared briefly, then dimmed to stealth levels, ensuring that the aliens would detect them gradually, creating maximum psychological impact. In the asteroid belt, drones and smaller ships moved into synchronized patterns, creating the illusion of massive reinforcements arriving from multiple directions. Holographic projections continued to simulate even more ships, confusing the alien scouts and making them believe humanity had almost limitless resources. Yet even amidst the illusions, the real army's presence was undeniable. The scouts noticed immediately. "Captain," an officer said, voice trembling slightly, "we are detecting more than what we thought. Hundreds of thousands of units, real, not projections. They are enormous." Zirek's antennas twitched nervously. "This cannot be possible," he muttered. "Our reports underestimated them. They are far larger and more coordinated than we imagined. Every fleet, every ship, every energy signature, it is precise, intelligent, human." As humans moved in formation, sensors across the system detected the controlled precision of their fleets. Ships and drones glided with flawless coordination. AI systems predicting alien movements and automatically adjusting formations. The humans' mastery of strategy and perception had created an army that seemed limitless, overwhelming, and unstoppable. On Mars, hidden bases opened, releasing troops and vehicles onto the surface. Automated weapon systems came online, scanning for any threat. Humans were prepared for combat, but did not seek to attack. Instead, they projected a presence that could not be ignored, a demonstration of strength, patience, and control. Zirek realized as he watched the sensors that the humans had not only anticipated his fleet's movements, they had predicted the scouts' observations, manipulations, and calculations. Every probe sent, every scan attempted, was accounted for. The humans had orchestrated this entire perception, using both real forces and illusions, to show the Xyrathians exactly what they wanted them to see. "Captain," another officer said in awe, "they are perfect in coordination. Every movement is precise. Even their illusions appear more real than reality itself. How can a species be this capable? Zirek did not answer immediately. His antennas twitched as he processed the scale of what he was observing. They are not just a species. They are a force of intelligence, strategy, and discipline. We have underestimated humanity, and that was a mistake. In orbit above Earth, human fleets began to perform coordinated maneuvers designed to maximize visibility to alien sensors. Large capital ships moved as if to flank imaginary positions. Smaller fighters danced in calculated patterns, and energy pulses created the impression of continual reinforcement. To the Zyrathians, it seemed as if humanity's army could overwhelm any fleet, any planet, any force. Back on Earth, General Vance monitored the aliens' reactions. "They are stunned," she said. "Their sensors report fleets that seem endless. They do not realize the true strength yet, but it is enough. They believe we are unstoppable, and in a way, they are right." The alien scouts tried to regroup. "Captain," an officer whispered, "their forces, they appear infinite. Hundreds of thousands of units coordinated across multiple planets and moons. How can they manage this? We counted far fewer before." Zyrek twitched in frustration. "They are masters of strategy and deception. We cannot know what is real and what is illusion. But even the smallest fraction of this is more than we can confront directly. Humanity is extraordinary." On the Moon, additional fleets emerged from hidden hangars. Ships of varying sizes moved in calculated patterns, energy shields flaring briefly before fading to stealth levels. Drones released holographic projections that multiplied their apparent numbers. The illusion became so convincing that the alien scouts could not separate reality from projection. Meanwhile, humans remained patient. The true army was still partially hidden, ready for deployment if necessary. But for now, they allowed the aliens to perceive overwhelming strength. Every movement reinforced the idea that humanity could fight any war, on any scale, anywhere in the solar system. "Captain," an officer said, voice shaking slightly, "we must report this to High Command immediately. Humanity, their strength, it is unimaginable. Even with our technology, we could not confront them directly without massive risk." Zirek's antennas twitched slowly. "Yes, humanity is not only clever, they are patient, coordinated, and relentless. We have underestimated them, and now we must decide, do we risk confrontation or do we respect their power?" The scouts sent frantic messages to Zyrathia. Reports of the human army's apparent size, coordination, and strategy filled communication channels. The High Command listened in disbelief. The humans had created the perfect demonstration, an army so large, coordinated, and clever that even the most advanced species could not fully comprehend it. On Earth, General Vance allowed herself a brief smile. "Phase 4 is working as planned," she said. "They believe we are infinite in number. They respect us. And soon, they will understand the full meaning of human ingenuity." Across the solar system, fleets and drones continued their synchronized movements. Energy signals pulsed, decoys shifted, and the humans' true strength remained hidden. Yet the aliens could sense it. Every decision, every prediction, every calculation had been anticipated. Humans had turned war into a demonstration of intelligence as much as power. The Zyrathian scouts began to withdraw. Their confidence had been replaced by respect, awe, and a growing understanding that humans were not to be underestimated. Even with advanced technology, cloaking, and weapons beyond imagination, the aliens realized that the humans' patience, strategy, and mastery of perception made them a formidable opponent. "Captain," an officer whispered, we have underestimated them. Even their illusions are perfect. How can a species be this advanced in strategy, coordination, and deception? Zirek watched the blue planet below. They are not advanced in technology alone, he said quietly. They are advanced in mind, in strategy, in patience. They understand war in ways we never taught ourselves. Humanity is extraordinary. For the first time, the scouts considered dialogue instead of confrontation. They had entered the system expecting weakness, chaos, and disorganization. Instead, they found intelligence, coordination, and preparation that defied their assumptions. Humans had won the first battle, not with weapons, but with strategy, perception, and patience. On Earth, General Vance gave her final order. Maintain all formations, keep decoys active, and prepare for diplomacy if necessary. But our strength is clear. Humanity has shown that we are not to be underestimated. Let them respect us. The alien scouts transmitted one final message back to High Command. Humanity was unlike any species encountered before. Their army was vast, coordinated, and clever beyond calculation. They did not rush into battle. They did not strike recklessly. Yet their strength, patience, and intelligence made them a force worthy of awe and respect. Zirek looked at Earth one last time. The humans below remained calm, organized, and patient. Their hidden forces, their true army, still waited, but even the fraction revealed was enough to leave the Zyrathians stunned. Across the solar system, energy shields flared, fleets glided silently, and drones moved in perfect synchrony. The humans had created a display of power, intelligence, and restraint that the aliens would remember forever. They had not only revealed strength, they had revealed strategy, control, and patience, hallmarks of a species that could survive, adapt, and thrive against any opponent. The scouts withdrew slowly, their respect growing with every report. Humanity had won not through violence but through foresight, intelligence, and the art of perception. Even with their superior technology, the aliens understood that humans were a species that could not be underestimated. And so, the first encounter between humans and the Zyrathians ended not in battle, but in awe. Humanity had shown its power, patience, and brilliance, leaving a lasting impression that would echo across the stars for generations. The message was clear. Humans were clever, strong, and united. They were ready for anything, and no force in the galaxy could dismiss them lightly. The solar system returned to quiet. Fleets remained hidden or partially visible, energy pulses dimmed, and the humans waited patiently. They had demonstrated strength, commanded respect, and reshaped the perception of an advanced alien empire. Humanity had won the first encounter, not with destruction, but with intelligence, patience, and the undeniable proof that they were a species unlike any other. The Zyrathians would remember this day. They had entered the solar system expecting weakness and disorder, but instead found precision, patience, and overwhelming intelligence. Humans had shown that size, strategy, and perception could create an army that was both invisible and unstoppable. And in that truth, humanity had claimed victory without firing a single shot.